I have tried to be vulnerable. In my life and in this series, I've tried to cultivate a willingness to show my soft underbelly and not worry too much that the world will eviscerate me like one of those Jurassic Park velociraptors, spilling my entrails upon the ground. I wonder how that will go for me, because as I'm writing this, only the first 18 essays of my values project have been published. Well, I'm Nick Walton. I'm a coffee roaster. I'm a dad. I'm a husband. I'm a wee little farmer, and I can't stop thinking about the invisible scripts that run our lives. You're listening to the last episode of Season 1 of The Values Sort. This is a field guide to the values that shape the patterns of thinking and behaviors that end up shaping our entire lives. This is an essay all about vulnerability. You know, Taylor Swift's taught me a lot, obviously, but if she's taught me one thing, it's that haters gonna hate. She didn't really teach me that. I knew it before she told me, but she did make it catchy, and she helps me to remember to shake it off. Shake it off. I've talked many times about my friends that I stole from. I've written about my rage and my proclivities towards violence. I've written about my weaknesses, my softnesses, my frustrations. I've written things that make my wife squirm in her seat just a little bit. I've written about breaking that girl's heart in the Philippines. I've written about my journey out of church, and I've written about the order of the mustard seed. These are vulnerable points in my life. I worry that people will see me differently if they know I've been dishonest in the past, or told lies, or stolen money, left church. I wonder if I'll lose people if I tell them I'm a member of a lay monastic order. That's so weird, and I know it. I worry that I'll lose people when I quote Rage Against the Machine lyrics. I worry that I'll lose people when I subtly or not so subtly expose my politics. I also worry about losing people when I paraphrase Bible verses. But I cannot help myself. I will not. And the ability to throw caution to the wind in this way is a sort of privilege that I enjoy. It's a privilege cocktail involving age and occupation and, yes, even whiteness. I don't have to care what you think of me. I know what my family thinks of me. I know what my friends think of me, and it's enough. The relationships and the satisfaction and the love I have banked now is enough for me. Still, I hope that my willingness to embrace and not reject softness will reap rewards. And what are the rewards? I hope my softness will show other men in particular that softness is an option. If I don't have to be hard and impermeable in my writing, maybe you don't have to be hard or impermeable to your family or friends. The truth is that I'm aiming for a reward. There is enough of an inflated sense of my own potential left within me that I imagine I might be a small part of changing the world. It seems worth it, but I still wonder what could happen. As I said, at the time of this writing, almost 20 of my essays have been published on Substack. There are more than 40 left in the can. I'm pretty happy with all of them, but they get raw. By the time this one publishes, you will have learned a number of potentially embarrassing things about me, and I will have said the F word about 12 times in the obedience essay. I don't know what will happen. I'm feeling very vulnerable. I'm nervous. Right now is when I found my voice. About 20 essays in. I watch the read counts. I watch the statistics. I wonder what will happen when people read freedom, devoutness, honesty, a world at peace, obedience. Will I fall in your eyes? Already I have realized that at least one of my essays was inconsiderate to my wife, and that puts me on my back foot. I felt I was being open and honest about a situation in our shared life, and she felt a little exposed. And that's fair, and this is not a burn book, and it's not a grievance blog. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I am in truth nervous, frightened even, because this has been such a great experience in my life, writing these essays, and what if nobody likes them, and what if they hurt people? Time will tell, I suppose. Regrets? I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. But then I wonder if I could even be destroyed anymore. What if everyone hates the words I write? It will be enough for me to have written them. And anyway, not everyone will hate them. Indeed, there are already people who like them. What if my business fails? It will be enough to have built something beautiful. It's already been something wonderful in my community. It's already been an important part of many people's days over many years. I've had the conversations I've had. I've learned the lessons I've learned. I've grown, I've changed as a person, and grown as a father and a husband, a friend, an entrepreneur, and even as a laborer. What if I lose everything? I will still have my family. They will never leave me alone. My friends have already made their sacrifices for me. I will always have room on 100 benches, and my plate will never be empty. So why would I harden and protect myself anymore? I have already won. I have already won. It is a place of great privilege, as I reflect, to feel so secure, and I don't want to squander my position. We know we live but once, and vulnerability is, I think, a sort of spending, a way to spend your life and your position and your privileges in the service, hopefully, of others. Brené Brown talks a lot about this stuff. I just rewatched a TED Talk she did earlier in her public career. I think it was probably the first I'd ever heard from her, and I watched it again just now. In it, she talks about being really resistant to vulnerability, at least initially. She essentially, my reading, says that vulnerability is a precursor to connection, to a feeling of connection, a sense of belonging. And that really clicks with me. It makes me feel lucky because, as I said, I do value vulnerability in my life. I do practice it. I do steel myself against crippling embarrassment, and I intentionally choose to uncover my softened bits. And I do feel a deep sense of belonging in my life, a deep sense of connection with my family and with my friends, with the natural world and with the animals I care for and the land I steward. And the other thing I want to foster and steward in my life is understanding of how lucky I am to have these options in the first place. Because for some folks, trans folks, black folks, lady folks, other folks, it can be a really different story. I can share myself without a lot of fear of rejection and retribution, and I know not everyone experiences life this way. This is a value that I am lucky to be able to practice as freely as I do. I am embarrassingly rich in my life.